Good morning, friends. It is Brooke from LegaSHE with my tea, enjoying the morning. Regardless of what the weather is outside, the day is for seizing. So we're going to get this one. We're going to really get it. And we're going to give ourselves grace if things don't go perfectly or according to plan. We're going to still enjoy it. So today I want to talk a little bit more about mindset. It is a topic. I'm from Buffalo. It's a topic, if you haven't noticed. It's a topic that I love, the topic of how we meet the world. It's a topic that I've spent in the last, 5 or so years, a lot of time on. I've dedicated myself quite a bit to the study of how we meet the world and what that means for our outcomes. And I've done it often quite alone because I've found that the spaces that I love to be in as an adult, finance, real estate, there's a high value placed on hard skill. And by hard skills, I mean, the analytical ability that you have, your ability to craft a solution, your ability to be really fast, your ability to compartmentalize and just get it all done, right? There's a really high value placed on that. And then occasionally there's a hint. Sometimes it's more than a hint. There's a really forceful pushback against what's perceived as soft. And in this context, how you meet your world and spending time on your mindset and spending time on showing up as a good person may be deemed soft. So I want to talk a little bit about that because, and I want to give you my feedback from someone who is living the life of being really in tune with how to show up, and just how much wonder and how much beauty there is in choosing to live life in that manner. A lot of the anxiety and stress falls away when you choose that path. So I want to give those folks hope who are struggling with having a very positive mindset. There's light at the end of that tunnel after you get through the struggle of, but other people aren't acting this way in the space that I'm in, and I don't, I'm being perceived as weak or too fluffy and soft. I promise you this. You're doing this for your future, and you're approaching your mindset as something that is a muscle that you need to build. That work that you're doing is incredibly valuable work, and it pays tremendous dividends. It always does. You just don't know when, and you don't know how, and you can't be standing there saying, why hasn't it paid dividends yet? You have to just trust that showing up better means your outcomes and everyone's outcomes around you are going to be better. So how does this look? What does this mean in real life? When I wake up in the morning, we all have stuff. I've talked about this in an earlier video, picking a mentor. We all have stuff. We have stories that we tell ourselves that we've constructed about our lives and about people in our lives and about things that have happened to us, our victimhood. We put our victimhood right on our sleeve. And we walk around with all of this anxiety and this anger and, the world has been unjust to me. All of us do to a certain extent, some more than others. And I'm here to tell you that when you peel that away and you take back your power and remove your victimhood, and just literally put it over there and say, I see you, I know you're there, you really, it's your ego that got hit in some way, shape, or form, and now you're lashing out because your ego took a hit, and your awareness isn't there yet to be able to help the ego through that moment and make the ego realize it's not a victim. But to get through these difficult times in our lives, we all tell ourselves stories to help make sense of what's going on, and then we internalize those stories, and a lot of those stories become our self-image. And spending time to do the work to peel away all of the layers of that image, that that image of being really strong and tough and compartmentalized, but under the surface there's a tremendous insecurity and ego knocking that's happened that you've never dealt with. You just chose to decide to hate everybody around you, or and make them suffer or pay because you have been hurt. One day, for all of us, there's either you just sort of resign yourself into that way of living, or you wake up. You wake up from it, and when you wake up from it, you start to understand a lot more how like attracts like. That's just how it is. So when you put out really negative energy, and you put out very victimized energy, that you attract back exactly what you're putting out. When you put out really positive energy, and I'm here to help, and I'm in service of others, and I'm working on greater goals, and I don't want to gossip about people, and I don't want to, I don't want to go down that path anymore. You attract like, and both of those paths are self-reinforcing. It's really hard to move from one path to the other. It takes a lot of work. It's like, it's like literally trying to change the ship all the way over to point in another direction. You know that this is going to be a lot of work. So if you have been living in a headspace for a long time that is really dark, and I'm a victim, and if you've been living in that headspace, it's really hard. It's like New Year's resolutions, right? Lots of folks make New Year's resolutions, and here we are a couple weeks into the new year, and many of them have given up. Why? Because there's a deep commitment that you have to living your life in a different way. If your resolution is, I am going to show up, I'm going to work on my mind, and I'm going to show up in a very positive way. I'm not going to tell myself stories of negativity. I'm not going to join in to that melee with others. It also can be very isolating when you work through the process, because you've been interacting in a very specific way, and now you're going to choose to interact in a different way, and that feels very isolating at the beginning. But take heart as someone who's been through the process and continues to go through the process, because the process is lifelong. I can tell you the reason that I show up on these videos with deeply, deeply infectious joy and passion is because I've done that work, and I can talk openly about the things that I love without fear, because I know that by putting that out there, I'm going to attract like. I'm going to attract folks who that resonates with, and that brings me tremendous peace and tremendous joy, hell with anyone who judges me. Have fun. Have fun with your karma. I'm sorry, but that's sort of the way that I look at it. If you choose to put that negative vibe into the space, that's your karma. You've got to deal with that. I don't have to. I'm Teflon. It bounced off. Didn't bother me. I've spent a lot of time working through how to meet life, and how to meet life as the driver and not the passenger, and how to meet life as the open-minded human that I was always meant to be and always had. But sometimes life knocks you about, and you don't show up. You don't show up as well as you could. So I hope that this mini conversation, which actually feels incredibly great, I have to say. I'm loving having this type of conversation with you. I hope that this little conversation is helpful. Don't ever lose hope. It took me into my 30s to really get it. But once I did, the relief after I got through the digging out of that mentality and that approach, that sort of negative approach. Once I got through that, the relief was humongous. And now I feel like one of the things I need to do is pay that forward to others. Hi, my name is Brooke. I'm building a business, and I'm an incredibly joyful human who likes to be in service of others. Have a great day.